Okay, let's talk about one of the most audacious heists in history. It's a story that's got everything: brilliant planning, unbelievable guts, and one tiny fatal mistake. This is the story of the Great Train Robbery. So let's dive right in. Picture this: it's 1963, the dead of night on August 8th. And you gotta understand, what's about to unfold isn't some simple smash and grab. No, this is a carefully choreographed crime, a plan that's been months in the making, all to hit a moving treasure chest. So, who was the brain behind this whole thing? Well, his name was Bruce Reynolds, and he wasn't just any old thief. No, this guy was a true criminal mastermind, and he built this entire operation on the most valuable thing you can have in this line of work: inside information, fed to him by a mysterious source deep inside the Royal Mail. So, what were they after? It wasn't the whole train. You see, the entire plan came down to this one specific carriage, the HVP coach. HVP stands for High Value Packages, and you can basically think of it as a bank vault on wheels. That was the prize. And here's where it gets really interesting. They had two huge pieces of inside info that made this possible. First off, their insider told them that the usual high-security HVP coach with all its alarms was out for repairs. The replacement? An old carriage with practically no security at all. And second, because it was right after a long bank holiday weekend, that coach was stuffed with way more cash than usual. We're talking nearly 10 times the normal amount. This wasn't just luck, you see. It was a perfectly timed strike, all thanks to that insider. All right, so they've got the target, they've got the timing. Reynolds puts together his dream team, a 15-man crew of specialists, even bringing in another gang that knew all about hitting trains. They were ready. All they had to do now was wait and spring the trap. And the way they pulled it off, man, it was like clockwork, pure military precision. First, they rig up a fake red light using just a glove and a battery. The train grinds to a halt in the middle of nowhere. The crew swarms it, they overpower the driver, and here's the really brilliant move. They uncouple the engine and the first two coaches, including that HVP coach, and force the driver to move it down the track to a bridge where the rest of the gang is waiting with trucks. In and out in just over an hour. So, what did they get away with? The haul was just staggering. 2.6 million pounds. Back in 1963, that was an absolutely astronomical amount of money. But to really get your head around that number, let's put it in today's money. We're talking about a mind-blowing 67 million pounds. To this day, it's one of the biggest cash heists in British history. They'd actually done it. So the heist itself, flawless. The escape, clean as a whistle. The gang makes it to a quiet little farmhouse to lay low and split up the cash. But it's right here, in their moment of victory, that they made one tiny, almost silly mistake that would bring the whole thing crashing down. So check this out. As the gang was leaving, one of them yells a warning back to the mill staff. Don't move for 30 minutes. Now, he thought he was being clever, buying them a 30-minute head start. But what he actually did was hand the police their single biggest clue. Because the police, they're not dumb. They immediately figured, okay, their hideout has to be within a 30-minute drive of here. And just like that, the search area shrinks from, the entire country down to this one little 50-kilometer patch of countryside. The clock was officially ticking. Meanwhile, the gang is holed up at this place, Leather Slade Farm, feeling like they're on top of the world. So to pass the time and celebrate, what do? They play a board game, and this one casual, overconfident move would be their complete downfall. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. It was a comedy of errors. They played Monopoly with the actual stolen money, leaving their fingerprints all over the board, the pieces, everything. And then, get this, the guy they paid to burn the whole place down and destroy the evidence, he just pockets his share of the cash and takes off, doesn't even light a match. So when the police finally raid the farm, they find the Monopoly set, which was basically a goldmine of evidence linking all of them to the crime. So now, with fingerprints from a Monopoly board, the police had everything they needed. The net closed in, and it closed in fast. One by one, they hunted down the members of Britain's most successful gang, and it led to what people still call the trial of the century. Oh yeah, the fallout was fast and it was heavy. The raid on the farmhouse gave the police the breakthrough they needed. Arrests were made, and at the trial, the judge basically saw this as an attack on the country itself. He threw the book at them, handing down sentences of 30 years for the main guys. But here's the twist. They didn't get everybody. The guy they brought along to drive the train got scared and was never properly identified. But the real mystery? The inside man, the source, the person who gave them all that critical information was never, ever found. He was only ever known by his code name, the Ulsterman. And really, that's the huge, fascinating question that still hangs over this whole story. The gang got caught, undone by a board game. But the real architect, the ghost in the machine who gave them the keys to the kingdom, he just faded away, becoming a legend and taking his secrets with him.